Everyone, make sure you are on mute, please. Just so you know, if you're not on mute, everything that you say, everyone can hear. And maybe you want your conversation to be private. All right, everyone, happy Thursday. Let's keep it a happy Thursday. Let's not try to turn this into a difficult Monday. These are the rules of the 187 District Court. You are in a courtroom. Even though you're at your home or at your jail, you're in the courtroom. Whatever you could not do, if you were physically in the courtroom, you cannot do on this Zoom screen. If you behave inappropriately on this Zoom screen, your Zoom privileges will be revoked. What does that mean? If we're at the Bexar County Jail, you know there are staffing issues. You're going to be sent back to your pod or your cell. And because of the staffing issues, we'll probably be seeing you in 60 to 90 days. Mr. Villarreal, that mask doesn't work if it's not over your nose and your mouth. So everyone with the mask, here's the thing. You're not necessarily protecting yourself. You're protecting others. To those who are on Zoom, who are at their home or at work, if you're at work, you need to find a location that is quiet and stationary. You need to let your employer know you need to go on break because you are in court. If you're at your home, there's to be no laying in bed, no wearing of baseball caps, no doing of laundry, no doing of chores. If you do any of these things, your Zoom privileges will be revoked, no questions asked. So what does that mean for the people who are on bond? That means that you're going to have a difficult Monday instead of a happy Thursday because you're going to have to get an Uber or a Lyft to come downtown. If you take the Via bus, I used to take the Via bus, they still do not give change. And guess what? When you need exact change, you don't have it. So that bus trip is probably going to cost you maybe $5, $10, or $20. If you drive downtown, you're going to find a lot of one-ways, a lot of construction. And if you're lucky enough to find parking space, you're going to find that parking is extremely expensive. To all the defense attorneys, if you have a plea bargain agreement, no matter how small you think that plea bargain agreement is, you need to place it in the chat box to Ms. Ferguson. She is listed as Ferguson coordinator. What she will need from you, if it's a plea agreement, she'll need to know if it's regular probation or deferred adjudication, or if it's for time. That's all she needs. She doesn't need the actual meat of the agreement. All right, and here's the other thing to all the inmates and everybody else on this Zoom. I've seen it done before. You are not here to pick up dates. This is not The Bachelor. This is not The Bachelorette. If you try to pick up dates on this Zoom screen, During this professional time, you're going to get sent back. And to everybody who's trying to pick up dates with inmates, guess what? They're inmates. So they're not going to be seeing you or being able to give you gifts for Valentine's. Last time I checked, they're not able to use their commissary to send flowers or anything else. So there's to be no dating on this Zoom. Perez, keep that mask up. To attorneys, if your client is on bond and you have an agreement, you need to put your client's email address in the chat box to Ms. Ferguson and also to the prosecutors. I'm going to open breakout rooms. When I open breakout rooms, it will invite everyone to breakout rooms. Do not, I repeat, do not go to a breakout room unless I specifically call you by name and assign you to a breakout room. To all those accused, your attorney is probably going to run and speak to a prosecutor before they speak to you. So please do not ask to go to a breakout room unless you are requested. Attorneys, this is the order in which you'll appear. Those who are accused, I'm going to be calling your attorney's name, not your name. If you don't hear your attorney's name, it's because they're Zooming in another courtroom or they had to appear in person. So everyone, also attorneys, do not tell anyone that they can go back. I'm the only person who can excuse someone in this court to leave. So if you do that, we're going to have problems getting your client back. And attorneys, please do not email, chat, text, or call Ms. Ferguson asking her for a reset or continuance. It bogs down the process, and I'm the only one who can give that to you anyway. This is the order in which attorneys will appear. Alice Warburton, Christine McDonald, Melanie Lear, Robert Porter, Sean Sheffield, Valerie Hedlund, Brian Kimbrough, Ben Stevenson, Kadir Gunner. I don't know if that's a defense attorney or defendant. Ed Camara, Valerie Hudlin, Anthony Zamora, Jeannie Cupid, James Milan. Is there anyone that I've missed? I believe I missed Mr. Zimmerman. Any other attorney whose name was not called?
No, Judge, but I'm the attorney on Kadir Gunner, Anthony Zamora.
Thank you. Anyone else whose name has not been called?
Yeah, Your Honor, I didn't hear Sean Henriksen's name.
Oh, he just zoomed in.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
It's because he's not here. All right. All right, everyone. We're going to have a fantastic day. Attorneys, when I assign you to a breakout room, just know that the prosecutors have the ability to move in and out the breakout rooms. As you can tell, there are more defense attorneys than prosecutors. So everyone put some patience in your pocket. Think of those breakout rooms as when you go to the doctor's office, your appointment is like 8:45 or 9, and they call you back immediately and you're excited because you think you're going to get in and out. They're just sending you to a smaller room to check your weight and your blood pressure. So don't make your blood pressure go up. Be patient in those rooms. All right, Alice Warburton.
Yes, Judge. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. All right. It's fabulous. It's Thursday. The weather is not too cold, not too hot.
It is fabulous, Judge. Other
Yeah.
than my neighbors are remodeling, and so there's a lot of noise really early, but they're really cool and they've helped me out a lot. So at the end of the day, I really don't mind because they're the neighbors you would dream of. So, but it wakes me up early. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, awesome. Well, you know, when I was growing up, what would wake me up, there was a woodpecker right outside my bedroom window. And woodpeckers actually do peck wood, and it goes very fast.
Oh, yes.
But it was a nice alarm clock. I'm sending you to breakout room number 3.
Thank you, Judge.
Sure. Christine McDonald, thank you for changing your name. I'm sending you to 4. Melanie Lear, thank you for changing your name. Sending you to 5. Robert Porter, thank you for changing your name. Sending you to 6.
Judge.
Yes.
I don't need to go talk to the DA right now. We already filled out the paperwork on Mr. Delgado. I just need to go in with him to go over it with him, and then we'll be ready for our plea.
All right, I've sent you to number 6. Is Delgado. Which Delgado do you have?
Angel Delgado.
All right, Angel Delgado, can you raise your hand for me? Because I have 2 Delgados. All right, that's 17C. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 6 with your attorney. But before you go, let me do share screen. Okay, sending you to 6.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Sean Sheffield.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. Thank you for changing your name. I'm sending you to 7.
Thank you, Judge.
Valerie Hutland, thank you for changing your name, 8. See how quickly this goes for assignments when people change their name? Brian Kimbrough, thank you for changing your name, sending you to number 9.
Thank you.
Ben Stevenson,
I have both family violence and regular, but I've been working mainly with Caitlin Wilkes.
Caitlin Wilkes is no longer here. What is your client's name?
Alex Morganfield. Alexis Morganfield.
Okay. All right, I'm going to send you to number 10.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Ed Camara, thank you for changing your name.
Good morning, Judge.
All right, I'm going to send you to 11. How you doing? Okay, I know you had a doctor's appointment yesterday.
Yeah, I'm still, they won't let me check out yet.
Well, sometimes that's a good thing.
Yeah.
You know, there's supposed to be an asteroid that's heading to Earth. So if anybody wants to check out maybe before the asteroid hits, I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what they say in the papers.
Yeah, well, I when I went to the doctor, I got good news and bad news. It was for some heart procedures, and they did decide that I had a heart, so I was surprised, but it's not working properly.
Well, we're going to send prayers out for you. Okay, I sent you to number 11, and I sent your client to 11.
Thank you, Judge. Oh, I need to talk to the prosecutor again because we just need to get the paperwork together. I talked to Joe Ray yesterday.
All right, Joe Ray, if you could go to 11, please. Valerie Hutland. Thank you for changing your name. Where is Valerie Hutland?
Judge, you already sent her out.
Get out of here. Her name is listed twice on my sheet. All right, Anthony Zamora. I'm going to send you to number 12.
Judge,
Yes.
Judge, if I may, I've been in conference as late as yesterday with Michelle Hayden. She sent me 3 documents last night. I sent her 2 yesterday evening. Even after we go over that, I don't think we're going to be able to come to any meeting of the minds today. We are getting a little closer, but
All right, just give me a moment and I'm going to come back to you, okay?
yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Jeannie Cupid.
Morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. You were so close to going to lucky breakout room number 12. You can blame Anthony Zamora for that.
All righty.
I mean, the lucky breakout room number 13.
Yeah,
So you're going to 12. Sorry. That's Anthony's fault.
thank you.
Ron Zimmerman, I'm going to send you to lucky breakout room number 13.
That's exactly what I wanted, Judge. 13.
All right, Sean Hendrickson, you're here with Pro Tem.
That's correct, Judge.
Sean, I'm going to send you to number 14, which is also lucky.
Okay, and then the Pro Tem Colin Ashworth is here also, Judge.
Yes, I've sent you both to 14.
Thank you.
James Toshi, is your client criminal trial division or family violence?
Judge, I believe he's CTD, but real quickly, I don't think there's any business for us to conduct here today. I don't believe I filed a motion to have his bond lower, just a motion to get it set, and that's been done by the court. So Norma sent me a link. We're not asking for a lowered bond. We just asked for a bond which has already been done. So I'm not sure what's going on, but you tell me if I'm needed.
Well, I tell you what, I'll send you to a breakout room. You never know what can happen when you go to anything can happen, James.
Well, that is true. That is true. All right, I'll go dance with someone.
Yeah, go dance. I'm going to send you to number 15.
All right.
All right, Ed Camara, you're back?
Yes, Judge, like my client's in the breakout room that you sent me to, but I need to talk to not to my client right now, but the prosecutor, because we don't have the paperwork yet.
All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1.
Yeah, and I just need to talk to Joe Ray.
Okay, let me see which room Joe Ray is in. He is in number 7. Just give me one moment, okay?
Okay. Should I go to 1 or just wait?
Your
Okay.
Honor,
Ed, if you go to breakout room number 1.
Okay.
Joe Ray is in another breakout room, but he's going to come immediately to number 1 after this.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
Yes. Yes, Mr. Villarreal.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. Is there any way I can speak to my attorney, James Toshi?
Okay, didn't I say that the attorneys will request you in the box when they need you?
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
Has he requested you to go to the breakout room with him?
No, ma'am, not yet.
There you go.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Anthony Zamar on Gunner. What's happening with that?
Judge, believe it or not, we're still receiving discovery items, but we are in communication. I know Michelle's dealing with COVID, and I've been up on my feet for about a week now, but we communicated yesterday. I just saw that she sent the discovery. I've not even gone over it, and I sent her 2 items. So we're making every attempt we can to communicate to each other. Even if I was to look at that stuff, I don't think we'd be able to come to any sort of meeting of the minds today.
Okay, just 1 moment.
And that was me that came in and said hi to you yesterday when you didn't have your glasses on.
Yes, I know. People think, my glasses are for distance and I don't need them for reading. So my ophthalmologist told me we should do, the transition thing. I'm like, no. He's like, well, when you get tired of taking your glasses off and putting them on, we'll change your prescription. And I'm like, that will never happen.
No, don't do the transition. You'll take a step down the stair and you'll look through the wrong part of that glass and you're going to go for a little tumble.
All right, Ms. Ferguson on Kadir Gunner. Can we reset this late this month just to see where they are on discovery? Because I don't want us to continue with all the discovery is not here. Thank you, Mr. Groomer. And so if I could have that in the chat box, please, Ms. Ferguson.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
Yes.
This is Mr. Lawrence. I've been here last week and this week, and I still don't know who my attorney is at all.
We're going to take care of that today, Mr. Lawrence. So the way things work is I give attorneys chance to be here because sometimes your attorney is not here is because they're in trial in another court or they may be in trial in another county. So they will let us know. And then I always want to let you know so you'll be aware of what's going on. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right. We're going to recall your case, Anthony Zamora, for discovery for February 28th.
That's that Monday, Judge, correct?
Yes.
At 9 o'clock.
Yes, at 9 a.m.
Okay. Would you please excuse Mr. Kadir Gunner? He's also on the.
Yes, you are both excused.
Thank you, Judge. Have a good week.
Thank you. You too.
Bye-bye.
All right, Sean Hendrickson.
Yes, Judge. How are you doing this morning?
Oh, I'm doing great. It's Thursday. We're a day away from Friday.
So I conferred with the prosecutor, and I had filed a motion to dismiss based off of a speedy trial violation, and I'd like to see about scheduling a hearing on that motion, Judge.
All right. And where is the pro tem?
I don't know.
All right, let's try to get he's still in breakout room number 14. So if you want to have him come out of that breakout room, please.
Sure. I'll go in and I'll talk with him.
Thank you. All right, and then James Milan and Brenda and Rebecca. If we can go to breakout room number 1, please. I'm sorry, not 1, number 2.
Yes, ma'am.
Marcus Sanders.
Yes, Judge.
If you could stay on the main screen until I return, please.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. You're good, you're good. Okay.
All right, Marcus, I'm going to put something in the chat to you. All right. So I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1. Well, number 2, please. Ms. Ferguson and everyone, just be patient. I'll be back shortly. Ms. Ferguson, are you in this main room?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to send you a chat. All right, everyone, put your patience in your pocket. I will be right back.
I don't know if I'm supposed to announce that I'm back from the breakout room, but I am.
Alice, if you can just hold for just a second, please.
No problem, Norma. No problem.
Hey, Norma.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
I just coordinated with Booker. We're gonna put him for the docket tomorrow morning in 12 so we can get all of these handled. Is there any way that I can go into a breakout room? He's gonna send me the paperwork now.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
He's gonna, Booker's gonna send me the paperwork now so I can take care of it. Is there any way I can go back into a breakout room and review it with the client?
Yes,
Since I
ma'am.
have him here?
Let me
Thank
put you in a breakout room. Give me 1 second. All right, Miss Melanie, I moved you to breakout room 3.
Norma, this is Ed Camara.
Yes, sir.
I just talked to Joe Ray. He's working on the paperwork on the Richard Muskies case, so he's going to send it to me in a few minutes. So we're ready for the plea once we get the paperwork signed by the defendant.
Okay, and I did send you the paperwork, the court's paperwork yesterday, so you
Yes,
should have it in your email.
Yes, I signed that already and sent it back.
Okay. Did you need to go into a breakout room with your client?
Just once I get the paperwork.
Okay, just let me know when you're ready.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Norma, Frankie Sandoval, may I approach?
Yes, sir.
Hi, good morning. would Mr. Dela Cruz, inmate, be available to go into a breakout room with, or would you like me to get in line to speak to the family violence prosecutor first?
Yes, sir. I can put them in a breakout room with you. Give me 1 second.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you, Ms. Norma.
Yes, sir.
All right, everyone, thank you so much for your patience. So who is next? Let me see who's back. Just 1 second. And we will move through that. To the clerks, the paperwork is coming back on Delgado.
Thank you, Judge.
And I'm sending you paperwork on Frank Lopez. Okay. All right, attorneys, if you want me to take care of your case, I'll need to see your face.
I am ready and back from the breakout room, Judge.
Okay, just give me a moment. Let me add attorneys who are here also. Frankie Sandoval, who do you have?
Your Honor, Joe Dela Cruz.
All right, just a second. Who closed the breakout rooms? All right, what is the criminal trial division or family violence?
It's an aggravated kidnapping, Your Honor. I believe it's family violence.
All right, well, as soon as the breakout rooms reopen, because someone who has host privileges closed the breakout rooms. Robert, I'm going to find out who did that. That's your job to find out who closed the breakout room. So everyone, just give me a moment.
Wasn't me, Judge.
We got to find out who it was. Brenna, see, you give people breakout co-host privileges and they close in breakout rooms.
It was also not me, Judge.
Thank you. You know, I'm going to see who's going to own up to it. Okay, I just reopened them. All right, who closed the breakout rooms? Which co-host is going to admit to doing that? All right, everyone, if you'll go back to your breakout rooms, the rooms are back open. And I want whichever co-host closed the rooms, I want you to admit that you closed the rooms. Okay, where is Frankie Sandoval? Ah, there he is. Okay. Colin Ashworth, did you close the breakout rooms?
I do not think so, Your Honor.
Okay, I'll take that as a yes.
I promise I didn't press any buttons. I was just sitting in there, so.
Okay, all right. Alice Warburton on Israel Elizondo.
Yes, Judge. The state and I, this is his first appearance in court, Judge. The state and I have some discovery issues. Specifically, we need to be subpoenaing some records that I made the state aware of. So we just like a regular pretrial reset. This is his first appearance.
All right. Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 30-day reset on Israel Elizondo, please? If you can put that in the chat box.
Yes, ma'am. Give me 1 second. I just need to switch over.
All right, we're going to come back on March 24th. And what discovery are you missing? Or is it just still being uploaded?
We family violence prosecutors agree that there are some prior false accusations, and the records are at a mental health clinic and at a school. So my investigator found out that the records existed, but was having some trouble without a court order getting the records. So I told and he said, the family violence prosecutor said, don't worry about getting a court order, will subpoena the records because they're just as interested as I am in seeing those. So Michael said that Michael Villarreal told me to tell you that he's going to subpoena those records today.
Okay. All right. We'll see you back on the 24th. You and your client are excused.
The 24th of
March.
Okay. Brief, let me make sure. Yeah, that's just fine. Thank you, Judge.
All right. Thank you. Have a good rest of your day.
Yeah, thank you. You too. Mr. Elizondo, you can leave now. I'll text you.
Justice Sepulveda, who's your client? You're on mute.
I've got Fernando De Leon this morning, Your Honor.
Criminal Trial Division or Family Violence?
Criminal Trial Division.
All right. I'm going to assign you to breakout room number 17.
Thank you.
All right, Robert Porter.
Hey, Judge. No, I just sent a chat. I just sent a chat over to Norma on some of the paperwork on Mr. Delgado, because we did it, I guess, on the 8th. The guards over there asked her to send a refresh because he's not receiving some of that paperwork.
Okay. All right. We'll make sure that happens. What I'm going to do, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, you sent me back to 6, but it wasn't showing the jail anymore.
All right. I'm going to send you and your client to breakout room number 1. Mr. Delgado, go to breakout room number 1. And to the clerks, if you can go to breakout room number 1 to make sure everything is happening with the paperwork, please.
Thank you, Judge.
James Toshi, you have Mr. Villarreal.
Yes, Judge, I do. I was chatting with Ms. Sparks. I think I need to chat with Mr. Groomer. We have to get congressional approval for something. So is he here? Oh,
yes,
yeah.
he is.
I'm here, Jim. If you go, I can talk to Jim.
All right, thank you. Can you send Mr. Toshi to a breakout room? I think he's in 15. And if you could meet him in 15, please. All right, Brian Kimbrough, you have Zuniga.
Yes, Your Honor, I conferred with Marcus. There is discovery that they're still getting that they're going to send to me videos of this. This is there's a number 1 that's alleged in this MTR that's is pre-indictment, and they're going to get me the videos from that case. So we were asking for a short reset to allow that.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on Ms. Zuniga, can we put this towards the end of February? And then Mr. Kimbrough, if you we'll make sure you have all the discovery And then you can make a decision on whether or not you wish to do a contested hearing or not.
Excuse me, Judge.
Yes?
We also had, I don't know if there's any way we had issued a
I'm sorry, you're
motion.
gonna need to speak up. I can't hear you.
I'm sorry, if we had issued put a motion for my NCR, for my bond.
All right, that's something your attorney will need to discuss with the state. And then if there's no agreement on that, then the court will have a hearing.
I believe he spoke to the DA.
Your Honor, could I speak to that? And I'll speak to Ms. Zuniga after we get done.
All right, yes,
I
Mr.
did-
Kim.
Yeah, I did file a motion, two motions actually for bond, and the state is not opposed. The state is recommending a $20,000 bond, which I agree with. So.
All right, then, Mr. Kimbrough, once you send that agreement to the court, if you just send me an agreed order, the court will sign off on it.
Okay. Okay.
Did you file the motion?
Yeah, I filed two motions. I filed in a motion, and I indicated in the motion that they were not opposed, and I indicated in the motion that they recommended 20,000. And I verified that with Marcus this morning. I don't know if he's on.
That's correct, Judge.
Yes, Marcus?
I just said that's correct, Judge.
All right, so what is the agreed bond?
20,000.
I'm sorry, everybody is talking as though they're underwater.
20,000.
20,000, okay. Is it just me? Are my allergies acting up?
So the agreement was 20,000, Your Honor.
All right, then that has been signed. And Ms. Ferguson is telling me that on your case, we're going to come back on March 1st.
March 1st?
Yes.
That's the first day of Women's History Day.
Well, and look at this. You're going to be in a court where there's a woman judge, your client is a woman, and women are bound.
Excuse me, ma'am. Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
I was gonna ask, because my kids are now, like my oldest one is autistic.
Let
My
me talk
department
to,
probation.
Your Honor, one-on-one. I don't want to be making any statements. So can I speak to my client, Your Honor?
Yes. All right. So your new court date is going to be March 1st, Mrs. Zuniga, and that's going to be at 9 a.m.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I'm going to send you to a breakout room with your client. Mr. Kimbrough, after you speak with your client, I'm going to need her to come back to the main room so she can be excused from the main room.
Okay. So I'll check back in as well.
All right. So I'm going to send you to breakout room number 8.
All right. Thank you.
And Zuniga, if you could go to 8, please.
I don't know.
Thank you. Jenny Cupid.
Yes, Your Honor. I was in a breakout room and I hadn't had the chance to confer with anyone and was brought back.
Oh, yes. The reason why you were brought back because someone closed the breakout rooms and they still won't admit that they did it. Mr. Ashworth is saying he doesn't think he did it, which I'm going to have somebody investigate that. So if you could go to number 12, that's what happened.
Yeah.
Someone closed the breakout rooms.
Yeah.
All right, Valerie Hutton.
I have the same story, Your Honor. Should I just go back to the prior one?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to find out who did that. Brenda, isn't there a movie? If it's the last thing I do, we're going to find out who did that. All right. We are on Chris Gonzalez. What is happening on that case?
Yes, Judge, I'd filed a motion to dismiss based off the violation of speedy trial right, and I'm asking for a hearing on that case, Judge.
All right, and are you ready to proceed with that, Mr. Ashworth, or no?
I have not received the motion yet. And so Mr. Hendrickson said he was going to email me a copy so I could look over it. And then we were going to talk to Norma about trying to figure out the good time and date where we can, Mr. Hendrickson can be heard and I can be heard on that.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can you give us a date to be heard on the defense has filed a motion for speedy trial to dismiss for lack of speedy trial? I'm assuming that's what it is.
It is, Judge.
If you can give us a setting date for that. All right, it's going to be March 4th. What time? (9 a.m.)
What date?
March 4th.
March 4th, okay.
Yes.
And we all send out a Zoom link prior to it again?
Yes. All right. And so, Mr. Ashworth, should I make you a co-host next time you come in?
I promise it wasn't me, but if it makes you feel better.
Okay. Okay. See, Brenda, he goes from, I don't think it was me to now he's like, I promise it wasn't me. Okay. I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to make you co-host one more time. All right. And what county are you from, Mr. Ashworth?
Tarrant County, Judge.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for zooming in to Bear County, or as my GPS says, Bexar County.
Thank you for having me, and I look forward to seeing you all again on the March 4th.
All right. Thank you. Have a great one.
Thank you, Judge. And may my client not be excused?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Melanie Lira.
Email me that when you have a chance.
I will.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning.
On this case, shortly after we saw him out on bond, he was picked up by parole on a parole hold. So we weren't able to get him in front of 12, but I had just talked to Booker. He's on the docket for tomorrow. And I was in the middle of reviewing documents when I was kicked out of the breakout room. So I just need, I can do that with him tomorrow in 12's breakout room. So we don't need to tie up your time here.
Oh, no, it's no tie up time with us. We have breakout rooms available. A co-host just kicked everybody out. Do you want to be in a breakout room with him?
Sure. That would be perfect. That we could finish reviewing that paperwork, and that would take care of your case tomorrow as well.
All right. I'll send you to breakout room number 5. When you complete your work with him, just make sure he comes back to the main room. And Ms. Ferguson, if we can recall Mendoza for tomorrow, and Ms. Lira, I'll know that you'll be in County Court 12 before you come here.
Perfect.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Brian Kimbrough, you've done with Ms. Zuniga?
Yes, I am, Your Honor. We talked.
All right, Norma, can you let them know L22 can go back, please? Thank you, Mr. Kimbrough.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, Mr. Zimmerman.
Yes, Judge. I talked to Ryan Groomer, and he made an offer. I have conveyed the offer to my client, and I think he needs a little bit more time to think about it. Could we get a reset on that?
Just 1 second. And to attorneys, when you leave the breakout room, if your client is an inmate, can you make sure that he comes back to the main room? All right. Is it Marcelo Flores?
That's correct, Judge. Actually, Ryan, if I could speak to you one more time.
Sure.
Okay, so Mr. Zimmerman, if you'll go back to your original room, you still have the ability to go back to 13, and then we'll come back and address whatever issues.
Okay. Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Mr. Porter, has the paperwork issue been solved?
I believe so, Judge. Before we approach the bench and start this plea, I need to clarify something with Mrs. Hayden.
Okay, I don't know if Ms. Hayden is on Zoom. Just one moment. I think she is communicating through Mr. Villarreal because she's out. So he's in number 10. As soon as he comes out of 10, I'll let him know you need to speak with him.
Okay, it's just what I'm asking, Judge, is there needs to be an oral amendment to the paperwork because there was an issue on that paperwork.
Okay, if you'll let the court know what that is, then we will.
Sure. Yes, if the court pulls up where it has defendant waivers, affidavit, and admonitions.
Mm-hmm. Oh, just one moment. They haven't given me the paperwork.
Oh, I thought
as soon as I have it, I'm just saying, as soon as I have it, I will write it in.
Mr. Porter, I sent you a chat.
Yeah, I wanted to do one at a time. I couldn't fill up my name bar with everybody.
All right, Ed Camara and Frankie Sandoval.
Here's Ed Camaro. I'm waiting for the paperwork on Richard Muskie's.
Okay.
We've got the deal. It's just Joe Ray is working on the paperwork.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Sandoval.
And Your Honor, when you have a chance, my client, Mr. Dela Cruz, would like to approach the court.
Okay.
And
Let me see, he may still be in the breakout room.
I'm right here, Your Honor.
and it should be on the record, Your Honor.
All right, just 1 second. Where's Dela Cruz?
Right here, Your
There
Honor.
we are. I keep losing you on the screen because the boxes are jumping around. Just one moment. Sean Sheffield?
Yes, Your Honor. I just completed the paperwork for the MTR. I just need to go over it with my client. If I can go back in a breakout room with him.
Judge,
He's in number 2, so if you'll go to number 2, Mr. Sheffield.
I was just gonna say, I just moved him. Judge.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. And to the clerks, as soon as you have the paperwork for me, I will take that up.
Yes.
And that is on Mr. Porter's client. All right, Mr. Sandoval, who is the prosecutor on this case?
Your Honor, I believe it's a family violence case. Now, I don't know who had been working in this effort before. I was just recently appointed to replace Ms. Efron.
Okay, so what is this, before we go on the record, what is this concerning?
Mr. Dela Cruz would like to represent himself.
Oh, okay. All right, we're gonna go on the record. In 2021 CR 3890, State of Texas versus Joe Dela Cruz. Could I have defense counsel announced for the record, please?
Your Honor, good morning. Attorney Frankie Sandoval on behalf of Mr. Dela Cruz.
All right, Mr. Dela Cruz, if you could unmute for yourself, please.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and for the state, Ryan Groomer.
Ryan Groomer for the state of Texas.
All right, we're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
None from the state, Your Honor.
Any objection from the defense?
Not on my part, Your Honor.
Mr. Dela Cruz, do you have any objection to us proceeding by video?
No, Your Honor.
All right, we are here on the case you're charged with aggravated kidnapping. You previously had an attorney appointed to you. That attorney, I believe, filed a motion to withdraw. And then the attorney that was appointed was Mr. Frankie Sandoval. Is that correct, Mr. Sandoval?
That's my understanding. Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
Okay, it's in Spanish.
So the motion to withdraw was granted on January 10th, and Mr. Sandoval was then appointed, and we are here today for a setting.
It's done.
Sandoval has informed the court
go back
off
to the main
record
courtroom?
in your presence
Yes. Oh, yes.
that you're requesting to represent yourself.
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right.
You're welcome.
So how far did you go in school, Mr. Dela Cruz?
I went up to the 12th grade, Your Honor.
To the 12th grade?
Yes.
Okay. And have you ever done any type of attorney work before?
Listen.
Taking the time to do research and ordered everything I can from the world through my outside resources, which consist of Code of Criminal Procedures and Texas Constitution and so on.
All right. So here's the thing, Mr. Dela Cruz, and this is what I explain to everybody. Every attorney that's on this Zoom screen has at least 2 degrees, at least. I have 3. But, so every attorney on here went to undergraduate school, and then they went to law school. I don't know why people think that anybody can be an attorney and did not go to school to be an attorney.
Thank you.
For example, if you go to see a medical doctor, you don't say, well, I know you're saying my kidney needs to be removed, but I've read up on it. I've read Grey's Anatomy, and I'm doing this kidney thing myself.
I was only trying to figure out.
But for some reason, I think that attorneys are in a different category. But here's the thing, if you represent yourself, that means you represent yourself. That means that nobody's in charge of filing motions for you. You file your own motions. You select your own jury. There's no, well, I don't know how to do this. I'm not going to be looking out for your best interest because that's not my job. I will just be the judge, and there will be a prosecutor, and you will be your own defense attorney. So we're going to recall this for tomorrow, and you need to think about that.
Yes, ma'am. I have.
All right, Norma, we're recalling this for tomorrow.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you, Mr. Sandoval.
You're welcome, Your Honor. Will it be a different Zoom link?
Yes, it will. You receive the Zoom link, and so will Mr. Dela Cruz. And then if Mr. Dela Cruz still wants to represent himself, we have jury trials beginning in March, and we will go forward with his case first up.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Norma, you can let them know, Mr. Dela Cruz, 17.
I did 7.
Mr. Sandoval,
the first time I got out, and then I went back.
you can let him know 17, he can go back. All right, Miss Lyra, did you finish speaking with your client?
I did, and the paperwork's all signed, and he should be back from the breakout room.
Okay, and that is Mr. Mendoza. Norma, can you let them know Mendoza 17D can go back? Thank you.
Okay, Judge, I'll see you tomorrow then.
All right, thank you. Joe Bohack, who's your client? You're on mute.
The screen moved around. I clicked it, but Jarrell Wilkerson, I thought he was on bond, Judge. I sent him notice to what contacts I have for him, and I was just kind of scrolled through the screen to see if he was present.
Yeah, he is not present. So just give us a moment. Deputy Laura, is there a Wilkinson in the courtroom?
I think it's going to
No,
be.
Your Honor, he's not.
All right, I give everyone till 10:30. He's actually here on a violation report.
Okay.
Do you have the violation report? Because sometimes it has alternative or collateral contacts.
I do, Judge, and I looked. My numbers were matching up with what they had. I got a message from his pretrial bond officer, and I responded to her. She didn't have, I don't think, I think I told her what contacts I had and got nothing new from her. So that's where we're at.
All right, I give everyone till 10:30.
I'll see if I can send out another round of email and text blasts.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Zimmerman.
Yes, Judge. I have discussed Mr. Flores's response to Mr. Groomer of the state's offer, and I think Mr. Flores needs a little more time to think about it.
All right.
This is his first trial setting, Judge.
Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 30-day reset on Mr. Flores? And Mr. Zimmerman, have you received all the discovery on this case?
As far as I know, yes, Judge.
All right, so I have what he's charged with, I guess, is 2 unauthorized use of a vehicle.
That's correct.
So do you have all the discovery?
I believe so, Judge. I have downloaded both within the past 24 hours.
All right, these are both state jail felonies. Your plea deadline date is going to be March 22nd.
Say that
So,
again.
your plea deadline date is going to be March 22nd. After that date, I'm going to give you your jury trial date.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, Judge.
All right, Mr. Flores. So you need to speak to whomever you need to speak to, okay? All right, thank you. Is there anything else, Mr. Zimmerman?
That is it for today, Judge.
All right, thank you for zooming in and thanks for changing your name.
Sure, no problem at all.
All right, thank you.
All
Norma,
right.
Mr. Flores, L30 can go back. All right, Mr. Sepulveda on DeLeon.
Yes, Your Honor, I'd like to speak to Marcus Sanders again. Conferred with him, but we're close, but
All right, Mr. Sanders. If you could go to a breakout room to speak with Jesse Sepulveda, I'm going to send you to number 15.
thank you.
You're welcome. All right, anyone ready? I am just waiting for the paperwork. Ben Stevenson.
Yes, Your Honor. I spoke with Michael Villarreal, and I have not spoken with Criminal Trial Division yet. Mr. Villarreal was just handed these cases apparently when Caitlin Wilkes got transferred. So there's a lot of background he's not aware of yet, but he has agreed to talk to her. We had some outstanding discovery issues, and today was supposed to be a discovery compliance setting on that. But without Caitlin's information, which Mr. Villarreal doesn't seem to have, I'm not sure if we can do that. So I would not be opposed if the court wants to do another short setting for discovery compliance.
All right, we're doing a short setting for discovery compliance, and then this is being set for jury trial. This case has been going on since November 2020.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Ferguson, can you put this at the end of February? And is Mr. Morganfield in the office with you, Mr. Stevenson?
Mr. Morganfield is across from my desk.
All right, thank you. All right, I need a date in February.
February 28th is open.
Oh, I'm just waiting for a date from the coordinator.
I'm sorry. Since it's so close, I have more bad days than good days, but the 28th is open if that pleases the court.
All right, we're going to come back on February 28th.
Thank you, Your Honor. May we be excused?
Yes.
Thank you.
And Ms. Ferguson, after that date, the next date is going to be on a jury trial. And if you could put that on the, when we come back, we're going to put that in March for jury trial. All right, to everyone else who has pleas, I'm just waiting on the paperwork to come to me. Christine McDonald.
Yes, Judge, I was just chatting Norma. We have an agreement on Mr. Thompson.
All right, thank you.
Judge, if he can be placed back in my room, please.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
What I'll do to make it pop up for him, I'll send you to number 3.
This one yesterday, they called me.
Okay,
I
here's
found it and
this.
that's why I put it in.
Norma, can you have Adam LaHood zoom in, please? Attorney Adam LaHood. All right, and if I could have on Angel Delgado, Mr. Porter, what were the changes in the paperwork?
It was just a brief change under the defendant's waivers and affidavit of admonitions, Judge.
What were you?
It's printed in the paperwork, the charge that it says aggravated sexual assault, and he's actually being charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon.
Okay.
Judge, I have a stupid question.
No question. You know what? I'm going to tell you what I tell my students at UTSA. There's only one stupid question, and that is the unasked question.
Oh, whew, that's deep. Can you message me the email address for the jail for paperwork?
Michael, I'll send it to you.
Okay, thanks.
See, you know what? You would have just been sitting there looking for that, and somebody already has it.
Well, that's why I was speaking up, you know.
There you go. Don't reinvent the wheel. Am I right, Robert?
That wasn't a question. That was a request.
What
Robert is true.
Not can you send me that? Those are.
Ah, we are getting so technical. All right, so I'm looking through the paperwork, Mr. Porter.
Yes.
And on the admonishment, it says aggravated assault with a deadly weapon.
Correct. And then if you go down where we're under the defendant's waivers of affidavit and admonitions.
Okay. Let me see. Okay, I'm on defendant's waivers, and let me see. I see what you're talking about. So I will change that to reflect that it's aggravated assault with a deadly weapon.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Are there any other changes?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, who's the prosecutor you're working on with this?
Well, it was Michelle Hayden, but she said she wasn't present.
I'm ready and present to plea, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. And Rebecca, there is no application on this.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
The court is calling 2019 CR 12079, State of Texas versus Angel Delgado. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Michael Villarreal for the state.
For the defense.
Robert Porter for Mr. Delgado.
And are you Mr. Delgado? Can you unmute for me, please?
Yes, Your Honor.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection, Mr. Villarreal?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Porter. Mr. Delgado, I'm showing you what's entitled defendant's consent to appear by video. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
The court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Mr. Porter, I'm showing you what's entitled discovery acknowledgement. You received all the discovery in this case. Did you review it with your client?
I have, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Delgado, are you able to mute and unmute yourself? All right, so Mr. Delgado, when I need you to speak, you'll receive a message from me saying unmute yourself, okay? Mr. Delgado, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney, and did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment? Mr. Porter? Do you waive the reading of the indictment?
I do, Your Honor.
What you want to do?
Are you proceeding on the indictment? State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
No, Your Honor. The state's proceeding on the lesser included offense of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon.
Any objections?
No objection, Judge.
Mr. Delgado, I'm going to show you what's entitled court admonishments and defendants admonitions and affidavit of admonitions and defendants waivers. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places? Did you understand you're charged with the lesser included offense of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon? That is a second-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand? If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand? All right. Did you get that, Brenna? Do you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call in, the right to remain silent? I'm sorry?
That one I didn't get.
Could you answer the question? No, we're not getting it. Did you say yes? You're on mute. Did you say yes?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you intend to give up those rights if you enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Delgado, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
The court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Next, I'm going to show you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea bargain agreement, the state is proceeding on the offense of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Punishment is to be assessed at 2 years in the prison. There's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. There's to be no contact with Holly Rodriguez. And I see that they placed in the agreement that you to receive credit for time served. The court always gives credit for time served if it's legal. Do you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to be designated as primary custodial parent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that to be the entirety of the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
State is at the plea bargain agreement.
It is, Your Honor.
Defense is at the plea bargain agreement.
It is, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Then to the offense of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? We didn't hear you. You're on mute.
No contest.
State any evidence to support the defendant's no contest plea.
Yes, Your Honor. At this time, the state offers state's exhibit number 1 as attachment.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Delgado, I'm going to show you what's entitled waiving consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call in, the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports but most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Delgado has been in Bexar County Jail for over 2.5 years, one in his day in court. We respectfully request that this court follow the agreement.
All right, and just so the record is clear, Mr. Delgado, the reason why jury trials have not occurred is because there is a pandemic. Jury trials are going to be back in place in March. So knowing that, do you still wish to continue with this plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, the court will follow your agreement. The court, as previously stated, is finding you guilty of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. There's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon, affirmative finding of family violence. There's to be no contact with Holly Rodriguez, and you will receive credit for any time that has been served. Next, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, the court will not give you permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to possess or own any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a question of the definition of weapon or ammunition, you will need to contact an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, with that, we'll close the record. Mr. Delgado, how old are you?
34.
All right, I read the stipulation. Guess what? In 4 to 5 days, meeting somebody on an app, that people are not in love. It's not long-term. You only known each other for 4 or 5 days. You're not a teenager. You're not 16. So if you continue on the path that you're on, you're going to end in and out of prisons, in and out of jails. And in Texas, if you have 2 pen trips, you are labeled as a habitual, which means some cases that you may have, if you're charged, your minimum is 25 years prison. If you do not want to spend the rest of your life in and out of prison, then you're going to have to start doing right. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Don't be the grandfather at the prison when some new person comes in and they want to know how it works. And people say, ask Grandpa Delgado, and they're talking about you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and what's up with all those tattoos? Were those painful?
Not so much.
Okay. All right, good luck to you, Mr. Delgado.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, and just so you know, and Mr. Porter has probably told you this, you may not be released from the Bexar County Jail. They may actually transfer you to the prison and then release you from the prison.
Why would it work like that?
Because they need to process you.
Okay,
All right, thank you.
thank you.
You're welcome. All right, who's your next person?
Judge, I was going to change it. I have a Mr. Albert Perez, it's going to be an MTR and it's family.
Okay.
Hey, Judge, I'm gonna log out and log back in on a different,
Okay.
something must be going on.
There's some major static happening.
So
All right.
I'm gonna try something different.
All right, thank you. Who are the prosecutors on Velasquez?
Joe Ray, Judge.
All right, Sean Sheffield.
I'm here, Judge.
Okay.
I believe it was Mr. Garcia was on the MTR, Judge.
All right, and Michael Villarreal, if you can send Mr. Porter to a breakout room. And I'm trying to find your client, just 1 second. There we are. All right, Rebecca, this is a motion to revoke. The court is calling 2021 CR 6846, State of Texas versus Jacob Dimitri Velasquez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Joe Ray Garcia.
For the defense?
Sean Sheffield, Your Honor.
And are you Mr. Velasquez?
Yes, Your Honor.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any objection from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Velasquez, I'm going to show you what's entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video Conference. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor. We went over the document and I signed it.
All right, the court will find the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm showing you this document. It's entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, we went over it and I signed it.
Well, this one you would not have signed. This is the document that tells you what the state is alleging. You understand?
Yes, I understand.
All right, are you the same Jacob Dimitri Velasquez who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2021 CR 6846 for the offense of burglary of a building on August 25th, 2021 for a period of 2 years? Is that you?
Yes, Judge, I am.
All right, state.
On or about the 8th day of November, 2021 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant, Jacob Dimitri Velasquez, committed the offense of theft in violation of condition number 1.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
State waives the remaining allegations, Your Honor.
Any objections to the state's waivers?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Velasquez, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 1, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, not grant you community supervision, and sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 1?
Yes, I do.
All right, court will find violation of condition number 1 true. Is there an agreement?
Yes, Judge. We ask that the court adjudicate and revoke the defendant to 197 days in the state jail facility. If it please the court, the judgment should be satisfied. Also, for the defendant's plea of true, we are taking into consideration county cause number 673342 and 673344. The defendant is also to plead guilty on the theft case, which is cause number 673343.
That is our understanding, Your Honor.
All right, and the court notes that the defendant was to pay restitution to a James Falconeri. Does anyone know if that restitution was ever determined and if it were paid?
I'm not sure about that, Judge.
Ms.
I'm
Reyes?
looking into it right now, Judge.
Thank you.
It doesn't look like it was determined.
Okay. Mr. Velasquez, are you asking the court to follow that agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, I am.
Are you waiving your right to appeal?
Yes, I am.
All right, the court will follow your agreement. As previously stated, the court is finding violation of condition number 1 true. The court is granting the motion, finding you guilty, not granting you community supervision. I'll sentence you to 197 days in the state jail facility. I'll show the judgment is satisfied. Taking consideration, County Court Cause number 673342, 673344. You are to plead guilty in cause number 673343. There's to be no contact with James Falconeri, Falconnier, and 103 Harcourt, Harcourt Avenue, San Antonio, Texas, 78223. I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you sign it?
I don't believe I signed that document yet. I only signed the first 2 documents for the video. And
Your name is listed here as a signature. Do you remember signing that?
the 2 documents that I signed, then yes, ma'am.
All right. Did you review it with your attorney, and did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, I did.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah. And also, because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, I do, Judge.
If you have a question over what a weapon is or ammunition is, you'll need to contact your attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, I understand.
All right, Mr. Velasquez, I did note that your judgment is satisfied. However, the state jail facility will probably still transfer you to state jail facility to process you from there. Things may have changed because of the pandemic. They may want to process you here, but I am showing that the judgment is satisfied. All right.
Yes,
we
ma'am.
can go off the record. How old are you?
I am 22 years old.
What are you planning on doing with the rest of your life?
I don't plan on coming back here. Jail isn't for me.
Well, how you, well, everybody at the jail say it's not for them. I don't know anybody. I don't care if they're a serial killer or what. They always say prison is not for me. Jail is not for me. Some people say working is just not for them, but you got to make plans so that you don't come back, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Don't, as I told the other person, don't be Grandpa Velasquez at the prison. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor, I understand.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Mr. Sheffield, if you have no one else with us, you're excused. Mr.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Ms.
Thank you,
Ferguson,
Ray.
17J
Y'all take
can
care.
go back. Thank you.
Judges, Ed Kamara.
Just one moment, let me find you, Ed.
Sure.
Yes.
Can you put me in a breakout room with my client, Richard Muskie, so we can fill out the paperwork on the plea?
All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Jesse Sepulveda.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Judge, we were not able to reach an agreement.
Okay, let me find out where your client is. Did you leave your client in the breakout room?
I believe I did.
Let me find out where he is.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. I don't see him on the Zoom screen. Ms. Ferguson, I need Mr. DeLeon back here, please.
Ma'am, he left.
Okay, let me see. Deputy, who's saying he left?
I saw him leave. He already took off.
All right, thank you, Mr. Lawrence. Ms. Ferguson, I need Mr. DeLeon back. Thank you. Ms. Cupid, you're back on Mr. Cole.
Yes, Your Honor. Michael and I conferred. There is an offer from the state, and I've discussed it previously with my client, but there's some new information that Michael was able to share with me, screen share with me, that I need to go over with my client. I would like to have a little bit of time to review that new information. It's a new case, Your Honor.
Okay.
And they're going to keep this plea offer open until the court tells us we can no longer keep talking.
All right, so he has a new case. A new allegation. What is the new allegation?
An ABI, Your Honor.
Okay. And has the state given you a time frame of when they will have all the discovery to you, or have they already given that to you?
I have not received it. He did screen share some things with me just now, and so I need to get on top of that, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can we recall Mr. Cole for the beginning of March? All right, we're going to come back on March 3rd, and please confer with the state to get the discovery. I know sometimes they upload things, but if there is an issue, just call Michael so that they can give it to you, you know, by other means. Everyone wants to upload things. It's like, just call somebody and say, here's the discovery.
Right, I will do, Your Honor. And my client is present. May we be released?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too. All right, do we have Austin Young in the courtroom?
No, we don't, Your Honor.
Okay. Do we have Rudy Rodriguez?
No, Judge.
And do we have Ruben Hernandez?
No.
Thank you. And Norm, I'm going to put attorneys' names in the chat box for you that we need here.
Yes, ma'am.
Brenda, do you know who Christine McDonald was here for?
That was Louis Thompson.
All right, thank you. Christine McDonough, Louis, have you guys finished the paperwork?
Yes, Judge. The court should have everything. I believe I might need a discovery acknowledgement, actually. Oh, no, I just received it. Never mind.
All right, and I'm signing the paperwork for him. And I'm going to send you and your client to a breakout room so that the clerks can swear him in.
Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
By the way, Judge, you jinxed me. I have a woodpecker outside my window and it's driving me crazy.
Oh my gosh. And you know what? You just never think of it. Like, you know, they had the cartoon Woody Woodpecker. And I still now have that in my head, what he used to say, and then, you know.
Yeah.
But they really do peck on wood.
Yeah, he's right outside.
And I don't, you know, I'm going to have to Google and look at some nature show to figure out why are they pecking on the wood. You would think that their beak would just get, you know, trimmed down from all of that, but guess not.
We're going back to the main. It's to get to the parasites inside of the bark.
Oh, well, thank you, Mr. Perez, for dropping knowledge on Zoom. I appreciate that. All right, I sent you all to breakout room number 2. And Mr. Sepulveda, we're just waiting for Mr. DeLeon.
Yes, ma'am.
So enjoy your time with us, and we've been educated about why woodpeckers peck in the wood.
Will, Judge.
It didn't save my tree, though. It had to be chopped down. Brenda, if we are able to have these other attorneys appear.
Judge, I'm already on Richard Muskie's.
Okay, I'm just waiting for the paperwork to come to me. I've only received one set of paperwork.
Okay, well, we just signed them a little while ago, so it may be unprocessed.
Okay. Well, you know, we just learned more information here. And my motto is, if you're not learning something new every day, then that's a day wasted.
Yeah, I waste a lot of days. I have a policy that do not learn anything new every day because it usually causes more problems.
I'm going to send you to number 2, and the clerks are going to swear your client in. I just signed all the paperwork.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
Judge, I'm gonna have to shut down and restart.
Okay. Brenda, I wonder, is that true? You know, I'm gonna have to think about that now. If you learn something new every day, does it really cause more problems? I don't think so. Because if you learn how to change a tire and then you have a flat, I think that's great knowledge to have. Norma, do you have an ETA on Mr. DeLeon?
Let me call the jail again, Judge. They said that we're going to bring it back.
All right, thank you.
Excuse me, Judge.
Yes.
Do you know my attorney's name?
Just 1 second. Let me look through the form for you, Mr. Lawrence. It is Ruben Flores.
You
So
know,
we're gonna see. Here's the thing, Mr. Flores. If Mr. Lawrence, if Mr. Florence is not here, we're gonna take care of that matter, okay?
yes, ma'am.
So don't be, well, I know you're concerned, but we're gonna handle that today, all right?
No, not a problem. I have great knowledge when I'm in your courtroom. I learned something new.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that.
Your Honor,
Yes.
Is there, I don't understand that my lawyer gonna be, present, but is there any way I can speak to you, on my behalf?
Now, what ends up happening is your lawyer needs to be present. And Mr. Toshi, I've already signed that bond, so you already have the bond that has been set, that has been agreed to. Ms. Ferguson, if you could have Mr. Toshi come back as well, please.
Yes, ma'am. Give me 1 second.
Thank you. And everyone, just give me 1 moment. Mr. Lawrence, we're going to make sure that you have an attorney here today, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome. Norma, I'm going to send you a chat box. Thank you.
Judge, can I see you in the breakout room, please?
Yes, I'll send you, if you can meet me in breakout room number 1, please.
Yes,
And then when I come back, I'll take up your case, Ms. McDonald. All right, everyone, thanks for your patience. Ms. McDonald, we're going to take up your case. Who is the prosecutor on this, please?
I am, Your Honor.
Okay. And I'm trying to find your client on the Zoom screen. Is he under a different name?
I'm right here.
Okay, there he is.
Okay, let me find him just 1 second. There we are. All right, Rebecca, this is going to be deferred adjudication. Court is calling 2022 CR 0273, State of Texas versus Louis Fletcher Thompson. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Michael Villarreal for the state.
For the
Christine
defense?
Sorry, Judge. Christine McDonald for the defendant.
And are you Mr. Thompson?
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
None, Your Honor.
Defense?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Thompson, I'm showing you what's entitled defendant's consent to appear by video conference. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you electronically sign it and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm showing you what's entitled application for deferred adjudication or community supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Thompson, I'm showing you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, we do.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Thompson, I'm showing you what's entitled court admonishments and defendant's waivers and affidavit of admonition. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
What you're charged with is aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. The range of punishment for that offense is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Off the record for a moment. Mr. Flores, could you show your video, please? Thank you, Mr. Flores.
Yeah.
You're here on Lawrence.
Yes,
Is
Judge
that
Brendan
criminal
Lawrence.
trial division or family violence?
It's a criminal trial.
All right, I'm gonna send you to a breakout room. I'll send you to breakout room number 3.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. We're back on the record. Thompson, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you and sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Thompson, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No.
Has anyone
No, ma'am.
promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial.
Yeah.
Next,
Yes,
I'm showing you
ma'am.
the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, there's a $1,000 fine. The state recommends deferred adjudication. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to be designated as primary custodial parent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that to be the entirety of the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Your Honor.
Sorry.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes,
in both
ma'am.
places?
Yes,
Did you
ma'am.
understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. The state is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 5 years. There be a TAP evaluation. 120 hours community service restitution, MIC mouth evaluation, hostility and aggression control course, and no harmful or injurious contact with Travion Martinez. That's Treveon. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, I would, if you would just allow me.
I'm sorry. Did you, Mr. Thompson, did you understand that those were recommendations? I'm sorry, I'm getting chats and people zooming in. Did you understand that those were recommendations from
Yes,
the
ma'am.
state, and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Then to the offense as charged in the indictment, how do you plead? Guilty?
Guilty.
Not guilty or no contest?
Guilty.
State, any evidence to support the defendant's guilty plea?
Yes, Your Honor. At this time, state offers states exhibit number 1 and its attachments.
Any objections?
No objection, Your Honor. Your Honor, if you would allow me the opportunity to address the fine and the evaluations.
Yes. I will, we'll address those once we get to that point.
Thank you, Judge.
All right.
Yes, sir, I can.
Mr. Thompson, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you waivering consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations? Did you
Yes, ma'am.
review that document with
Yes,
your
ma'am.
attorney?
Yes,
Did you
ma'am.
understand it? Well, wait a minute, calm down. Time out. So this is what I want you to do. Let's take a breath.
Yes.
Right? Because let me explain. They have like what's called Court Reporters Week. And this is the celebration of court reporters.
Yes,
Because
sir.
they do an awesome job. Right?
Yes, sir.
And what they do is they take down everything that I'm saying, everything that you're saying, everything that everyone says. Now, I just want you to imagine for a moment, if you had to write down everything that everyone was
Yes,
saying,
sir.
word for word, and everybody's talking at the same time. So when you're talking the same time I'm talking, that's what you're asking her to do. Can she do it? Of course she can, because she's the best court reporter. But let's make her day a happy Thursday and not a difficult Monday by not doing that. Okay?
I'm sorry.
No, there's no apologies needed. We tend to talk the way we would talk if we were outside. You know, a lot of people talk over each other and you just hear parts of conversation. But because she's doing a record and we're in court, she can't just put down a summary. She has to put down everything that everybody's saying. And when we talk over each other, it makes it hard for her. And I know you're probably a little anxious because this is a plea and it's a second-degree felony. But what I would like for you to do is just listen to my question.
Okay, I gotta.
Wait till I finish my question and then answer, okay?
They interviewed me for lifetime recovery. And I was approved for lifetime recovery.
So I'm going to show you the document that the state is offering to
Judge
evidence.
Wood,
It's called waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations.
Is there any way?
You review that document with your attorney and did you understand it and electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am. I do have.
Did you understand you have a right to a jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived
Okay,
and consented
with me, you take it, but you can't see if, with me
stipulations.
taking the
Court
lifetime
will accept
recovery.
it to evidence, states exhibits 1 and attachments, and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding you guilty as you applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so with regards to the $1,000 fine, unless there's a reason not to, the court normally will probate that. So is that what you were wanting to address, Ms. McDonald?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so the $1,000 fine will be probated. 5 years deferred adjudication. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. Now, you wanted to address the McMouth evaluation, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, what do you want to say about that?
Judge, my client has been in custody, unable to postpone since November. Judge, I truly believe this incident might have occurred due to some med adjusting after speaking with the family so Judge, I'm just asking if you would consider to allow those evaluations to be done out of custody, considering the amount of wait time for beds should Mr. Thompson need inpatient treatment.
All right, what prior medications were your client on?
I spoke with his sister, Judge, and he was seeing a private doctor, Dr. R. Jimenez. They made that switch last year in October. So at the time that this case happened, he was transitioning between doctors, Judge, and was prescribed new medication, clozapine, Judge. And I don't believe he reacted well to that. And that might have been the stem of this incident, Judge, and in consideration of that and the fact that he does have private health care out of custody, I would just respectfully request that he be allowed to be out of custody when these evaluations are pending.
All right, who is his current doctor, though, that he's seeing?
Dr. R. Jimenez.
And could you spell the first name, or is it just the letter R?
She just told me R. Jimenez. She looked on one of his, the medication bottle, Judge.
And is that Jimenez with a J or an X?
With a J.
And State, have you talked to Travion Martinez? And does Travion Martinez wish for Mr. Thompson to be on deferred?
Your Honor, the victim on this case was not cooperative, and he stated that even if we were to proceed, that he would hope that he would get probation and some type of mental health counseling or help.
All right, and then with Aquiana, Auquiana Henderson, is that where he's going to be staying?
Judge, from reviewing the evidence, that is one of the witnesses who saw part of this happen, but I don't know if she lives in that house, Judge.
All right, Mr. Thompson, where are you going to be living?
He's on
You're on mute. If you could press yes, where will you be living?
You're good. With my sister.
And who is your sister?
Gloria Martinez.
I'm sorry, who?
Gloria Martinez.
Have you talked to her?
My lawyer has.
I spoke with her this morning, Judge.
Does she want him to live with her?
Yes, Your Honor. She's been caring for him for the past 2 years. He has no other family to take him in.
All right, and so her address won't be on the YouTube. Can you chat me her address, please? And then I'm gonna need you to go into the breakout room to give that address to probation.
I will, Judge. I'll have to call her again. I'll get it.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Thompson, do you have employment or are you receiving SSI?
See SSI.
And you get yours. And what are you planning on? I mean, what do you do in your spare time?
I do construction jobs, and I'm gonna find me another job.
All right, well, I'm not in the SSI department. I don't know if you're allowed to work.
No, because I am on a work program called Work Ready. Is a program that I'm under. I can work and still get my checks.
Okay, what is the name of the program, sir?
Because Work Now is a government entity that was made a while ago.
Okay, because I know I know SSI checks are not a lot, and then not to be allowed to do what you can do is always complicated. So I'm glad you're able to do that.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Do you know how to Zoom? If I require you to report by Zoom, are you able to do that?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have a case manager?
I had one in Austin, but I could try to get one.
I think a case manager will really be helpful to you, okay?
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
not necessarily going to order that, but you probably would be better with your medication compliance if you had a case manager. And the reason why I'm not ordering it, because I don't think it's my duty or within my expertise to interfere with any type of medical relationship you have with your doctor. So if you want to, consider asking your doctor about getting you a case manager.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any children?
Yes, all my kids is grown.
Okay. Let's not call them kids, because I grew up learning that kids were baby goats. So let's call them children. Okay.
Children. All my children is grown.
All right. All right. It's going to be $1,000 fine that will be probated. 5 years deferred adjudication. There's an affirmative finding of family violence, 120 hours community service restitution. If you have completed the COVID regimen, then the court will deduct 40 of those hours. The court is not forcing you or requiring you to do that. But if you have received the vaccination, you provide proof, then 40 of those hours will be deducted. I'm going to want a MIC evaluation. That'll be done out of custody. Mr. Thompson, if you fail to meet these appointments, you're going to find yourself doing your MIC evaluation in custody. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So communication is key. Going to do the hostility and aggression control course. There's to be no harmful or injurious contact with Travion Martinez. You're going to continue seeing Dr. R. Jimenez, and you're going to need to provide a medical release for probation so they can make sure that you're staying on your medications. You are to reside with Gloria Martinez. If there's an issue with residing at Gloria Martinez, you need to immediately contact probation and let them know.
Yes, ma'am.
Proof of SSI within 20 days. You are to continue with the Work Now program. But there's to be no employment as a home healthcare provider with minors. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom. If you can't report by Zoom, you'll need to do in person. I'm going to want field visits 2 times per month, random. Rebecca, is there anything else that he needs?
No, Judge, I'm sorry. What was the program you ordered after proof of SSI?
He is currently in the program with the federal government called Work Now program, and they allow him to work.
Okay.
And we're going to do regular UAs. Mr. Thompson, is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful?
Well, ma'am, I just want to get out of jail. That's all. And I will never.
So you need to get out of jail in order to be successful. We're working on that. So anything other than the get out of jail part.
No, you're great. You do everything like you're supposed to do. Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Thompson. I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And because there's an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
What's up, Brenda? If you have a question over what a weapon is, you'll need to contact an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. We can go off the record. Mr. Thompson. I saw where you were the complainant's uncle. We're going to have to do better. All right.
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, well, you don't have to apologize to me, but you probably need to apologize to him.
Yes, ma'am.
I find it best when people get upset, just walk away.
Yes,
ma'am. You know, find a place to calm down. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1. If you could go to number 1 with Christine. because I have another plea agreement to do. And probation will meet you there shortly.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. May I be excused from that room?
Yes, you can.
Thank you.
Oh, Rebecca, actually, you can go to that room now because this one has no application.
Okay, and we have another CLO on helping me out. My computer keeps freezing, so she's my backup.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm gonna make you a co-host. And who are the attorneys on Musquez? You're on mute.
Ed Kamara.
And Joe Ray for the state.
Okay, let me find Mr. Musquez. There he is.
And Judge, before we begin, I need to make a small oral amendment on the judicial confession.
All right, if you'll tell me before we go on the record, what's the amendment on the judicial confession?
Yes, on the third line from the bottom on the second page, it says knowing that the habitation, it should state knowing that the building.
Also, I might add that in the judicial confession, you have listed the
Right, I'm sorry, just 1 second. Let me find what the state is speaking on.
Okay.
So you're saying in which part, Mr. Garcia?
Where it says knowing that the habitation, instead of habitation, it should be building.
Okay, and then what part are you speaking of, Mr. Kamara?
It may be the same thing, but is that in the judicial confession paragraph?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. No, it's the same thing. He just cited the statute on habitation rather than the second degree building.
Okay.
Right, and that's the only difference. It's just forgot one of the habitations, change it to building.
Okay. All right, the court is calling 2020 CR 5067, State of Texas versus Richard Elliott Musquez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Joe Ray Garcia.
For the defense?
Ed Kamara for the defense.
Are you Mr. Musquez?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any objection from the defense?
No.
Mr. Musquez, I'm going to show you what's entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video Conference. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm going to show you defense, what is entitled Discovery Acknowledgement. Mr. Kamara, have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
Yes.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Musquez, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We're proceeding on the lesser included arson of a building, second degree felony, and waiving the repeater enhancement.
Any objection?
No objection.
Mr. Musquez, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of arson of a building? It's a second degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement, you can withdraw your plea, and the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Musquez, I'll go over it again. Did you intend to give up those rights?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, I do, Your Honor. I'd like to just add something to that. He was originally determined to be incompetent. and he was sent to the San Antonio State Hospital. He spent several months there, was restored his competency, came back, and he has Judge Carruthers restored it, ruled him competent, and we proceeded from there. So he is competent today. He's been doing very well the last few months I've been working with him. Seems to be on his medication and doing well.
All right. Do you believe he was sane at the time of the offense?
Yes.
All right. Mr. Muscaz, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find a defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of arson of a building as a second-degree felony. Punishment is to be assessed at 3 years in the prison. There's a $1,500 fine. There's restitution, if any, to Carabin, Carabin, Partners Limited Retirement. There's to be no contact with 107 Fredonia, Fredonia, San Antonio, Texas, 78203. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, it is.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No.
Then to the offense of arson of a building, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence to support the defendant's plea.
State offers State Exhibit 1 and its attachments.
Any objections?
No objections.
Mr. Muscaz, I'm showing you what's entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand today that the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. The court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. Thank you. Let me give this to you. All right, after reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Yes, Your Honor. Just briefly that we'd like to follow the plea bargain agreement, and he's been doing very well since he's been in the Bay County Jail.
All right, the court will follow your agreement. The court is finding you guilty of arson of a building. The court will assess your punishment at 3 years in the prison, a $1,500 fine, time and money to run concurrent. There's to be no contact with 107 Fredonia, San Antonio, Texas, 78203. Credit for any time served. Restitution, if any, to Carabin Partners Limited Retirement. Next, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes.
Because
ma'am.
this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a question over what the definition of a weapon is, you'll need to contact an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we'll close the record. Mr. Newscast, good luck to you. Make sure you stay on your medications. This could have turned out so much different than just damaging a property. People could have been killed. Fires get out of control every day. All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Number 17K can go back. Thank you, Mr. Kamara. Have a great rest of your day. And
Thank
don't
you.
learn anything.
Thank you, Judge. I've been working with Ed Odron.
Okay. You know what? You're breaking my heart. I know my Saints didn't do well this year.
They should be with that.
And I know my Tigers didn't do well either, but there's always next year.
I can't believe LSU would hire Irishman.
What can you say? Hey, what is it? St. Patrick's Day is right around the corner.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
it.
All right, have a great one.
You too.
Jesse Sepulveda, Mr. DeLeon has made it back.
Thank God.
All right, so what is happening with Mr. DeLeon?
Your Honor, he's not willing to accept
Okay.
what's been offered.
All right, that is fine. Mr. DeLeon, can you unmute? We're going to recall your case. I always give people plea deadline dates. Mr. Sepulveda, have you received all the discovery?
Yes, I believe I have been.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can we put this at the beginning of March for plea deadline date? Mr. DeLeon, we do have jury trials available. So we will, if you want to go to trial, your trial will most likely be at the beginning of March or mid-March. Ms. Ferguson, if I can have us come back. Is March 1st available? All right, so we're going to come back on March 3rd. March 3rd is going to be your plea deadline date. So what that means is after that date, the court will not accept any plea bargain agreements. You will be set for jury trial. If you do decide to enter a plea agreement after that date, the court will only accept pleas that are open to the court. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you, Mr. DeLeon.
Yes,
Number
ma'am.
16, go back. Thank you, Mr. Sepulveda.
Thank you.
Yes, Ruben Flores.
Yes, Judge. I was gonna see if we could go into a breakout room with you and Brittany. There's something we need to clear up.
All right, just give me a moment. Who is the person here from pretrial services? Is there someone here from pretrial services? All right, I'll take that to no. All right, everyone, put some patience in your pocket. Again, it is 30 and it's only 11:40. Mr. Flores, if you would go back to breakout room number 3, and I will meet you and Brittany Sparks in breakout room number 3. And then Mr. Porter, what is happening with Mr. Perez?
Your Honor, we'd like to contest it on the MTR.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on Mr. Perez, can we have this set for a contested motion, please? If you can give me a date for that.
Yes,
And how
ma'am.
many witnesses are we expecting?
That's up to the state, Judge.
Who's the prosecutor on this?
Ma'am, Your Honor.
How many witnesses are you anticipating?
It's gonna be several, Your Honor. I haven't gone through, there's several new cases. So I've gone through and made a witness list on each.
All right, so it's gonna be set then at 2 p.m. And Ms. Ferguson, if you can give me a date.
She wants me
Yes, ma'am. If you could just a second, Judge.
Sure.
time recovery, and she, you know what I mean?
I can do the 20.
All right, we're going to come back on March 29th. I think that'll give everyone a chance to do discovery. All right, Mr. Porter, if you don't have anyone else with us, then you're excused. Thanks for zooming in.
Judge, quick question. I'm assuming that's going to be in person?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Norma, you can let them know 17L, Mr. Porter can go back.
And Judge, just real briefly on I believe he's remanded without bond on this MTR, so I'm going to file a motion to see if we can get a bond set.
All right, thank you. If you'll speak with Ms. Ferguson on that.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, and everyone just give me a moment, please.
Yes.
All right, I am back. All right, James Toshi.
Hey, Judge, so we had a deal, but we may not. May I speak to Ms. Sparks, please, if she's available?
She is actually in breakout room number 3 as soon as she comes back. She should be back shortly.
I can also speak to Ryan Groomer. He kind of knows the score.
All right, Mr. Toshi, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 3. Could a prosecutor, either Ryan Groomer or Brittany Sparks, go to breakout room number 3 with Mr. Toshi, please?
I'll go in there.
Thank you.
I know.
Guys, I thought we wouldn't have to come back, but I think we're going to have to come back. Just one moment. All right, Ms. Hutland on Mr. Green.
Hi, Judge. I have conferred with Michael. It's primarily a family violence case, but Mr. Green has 2 cases pending. And Michelle Hayden and I have really been working through discovery. There's still issues to go through. I did go through them with Mr. Villarreal also to just kind of update Michelle when she gets back. So I would just ask for a reset to continue going through. There's a lot of discovery.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can you give me a month reset on Mr. Green for discovery, please?
He's the co-defendant with Alexis Morganfield. Do you want me to set it the same day?
Yes, please. Well, Alexis Morganfield, we've been having problems because that case has been going on forever. And I see this case is from 2021 too. Yes, please set it on the same date.
It's we gave them the 28th of February.
All right, so we'll come back on February 28th.
And in the meantime, Your Honor, if Mr. Green has had another tragedy in the family, his cousin was just killed on Saturday. So if I would like to request a modification for his GPS, is that something that I should just schedule with Ms. Ferguson to try to.
If you will speak with the state is, I found, generous with
Okay.
the funeral arrangements and everything. So if you will confer with them, and if you all will give me agreed order, if you can't come up with an agreement, just put it on the docket. And I think, when is the services? I'm sorry.
I'm not really sure. It just kind of blew up, and he's had a couple of pretty big tragedies recently. So I think he's getting pretty bleak.
Okay, whatever date you want, we'll make arrangements.
And
to
I'll
make-
get the documentation for the arrangements too, Your Honor, and submit that also.
All right, thank you. Then you and your client are excused.
Thank you.
Thank you. Matthew Roberts, are you with pretrial services?
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming in. Pretrial services, you call them, bam, they're there.
No worries.
I wanted to talk to you about Ruben Hernandez.
Yeah.
So I received the violation report. The thing is, he's not able to report because he's in an inpatient facility.
Okay.
And they think that it may be terminal. So that's why he's not able to report. So I don't know if you're able to contact the attorney, Mr. Ed Bartolome, but he'll provide documentation to you.
Okay, that'll be great. Yeah, I know that he's been having medical issues. I've been in contact with the family, but I have just not been able to get any sort of medical documentation from the family. But I'll go ahead and contact the attorney.
All right. And if you're not able to get in touch with the attorney, let us know and we'll set it for a Zoom so the attorney can be here.
Okay, will do. Do you need anything else from me, Your Honor?
No, that's all. So I'm going to make my ruling on this. And I'm just going to say continue with the same conditions. And I'll make a notation that the defendant is in a facility.
All right. Thank you, Your Honor. You have a good day,
Thank you.
ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, Mr. Flores.
Judge, I conferred with my client, and he's gonna accept the plea bargain. I chatted Brittany, but I don't know if she got that message.
I did.
Okay. All right, Mr. Flores, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 2 with your client. Mr. Lawrence, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 2 and we'll get the paperwork. All right, Mr. Toshi.
Judge, I need to chat with Mr. Villarreal again to convey the new offer.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 4.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Everyone, just give me a moment. Norma, can I see you in the breakout room? Breakout room number 6.
Christopher, did you still not get your paperwork? Can't hear you.
I just signed it right now.
You did?
Yeah, I just got done right now.
Oh, okay.
Says you finished signing, yada, 2021 CR 10285. And it says the judge will sign next.
Okay, we'll wait for the judge to come back.
Okay, hope it is the last time seeing you.
Yes, ma'am.
Lord willing.
2 years, 2 years ain't, I mean, I did 4 last time. I ain't doing 2 years ain't shit.
Okay, hey, let's not talk in here. Everybody can hear us, so let's.
Oh. Badass house. Right.
All right, has all the paperwork been completed on your case, Mr. Toshi?
I don't know, Judge. He didn't have it when I was with him, and now he's telling me he signed it all, so you tell me, do you have everything you need?
All right, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna send you, Mr. Villarreal, I'm gonna send you to breakout room number 1 with your attorney. And a clerk is gonna be in breakout room number 1 with you. They're gonna make sure they have all the paperwork and swear you in. And let me check my box for any new messages.
Judge, can you send an invite for me? Because I'm not a co-host. Sorry.
Let me make you a co-host right now.
Thank you.
Problem solved.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Judge, I'm gonna put something in the chat.
All right, thank you.
Norma, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, I was having trouble with my audio in the breakout room, so I was just checking. I'm gonna try to go back in, Judge.
All right, thank you. Yes, Ms. Ferguson, I'm waiting for your chat. All right, Norma, we'll put that then at 2 for Medellin. And we'll put, is he with Daniel Vela or no? All right, so we'll put Austin Young at 2 p.m. as well.
Norma, do you know what happened on Joe De La Cruz? I saw Frank Sandoval here today, but I didn't talk to him. Joe De La Cruz.
Oh, if that is with Frankie Sandoval, he wants to represent himself. So we're coming back tomorrow on that to give him a chance to consider.
I hope he does.
Love your face.
Brenda, that is the bane of the attorney's existence, that everyone thinks that they can be an attorney and not have gone to school. Brenda, you think they'll let me be a court reporter even though I haven't gone to school and I don't know how to use the machine?
I don't know, Judge.
You know what I would do? I would write it down and I would tell everybody, you need to talk slower. I'm handwriting this.
Judge, I've seen your notes from when you were a prosecutor, and I'm going to go ahead and say that's a no.
Hey, but I put a lot, I uploaded everything. It is filled with notes for people. But some of my notes are shorthand.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Brenda, do you know, when I was in high school, they actually had a shorthand course. And I stepped in there. I was like, no, this is not for me. I'm going to choose a different elective. So I didn't do that. Instead, I did typing, which they don't even have typing anymore, which is a shame.
It is.
Because people don't know how to type. I'm like, you are pecking.
Well, that's because they use iPads.
Yes. You know, my typewriting teacher was Teresa Tanner. She's since passed, but she was real big on, you need to sit up straight. And you need to keep your elbows in and keep your hands on the home row keys. She's like, wherever you move, they should come back to the home row keys. But then when we would do speed, my hands would go off the home row keys and just do everywhere. Because once you start on the home row keys, you pretty much know where everything is.
Right.
But yeah, and Brenna, when I first was in school, you had the manual typewriter. And you know what that meant?
Yeah.
You had to hit the return carriage. And if you needed 2 line spaces, it's like bam, bam. When we got electric typewriters, we were just like, oh, electric typewriters.
I think Stenberg still has a typewriter in his office.
Yes. I still have the typewriter that my mom got me. I think she got it for me for Christmas or either for my birthday. I still have it. It's so awesome. But we also use carbon paper. And so our typewriting teacher would purposely say, you need to make a mistake and then you need to clean it up. That was the hardest thing with carbon paper. I hated it.
Judge, I think I still have my book that teaches you how to type on the with the typewriter.
Did you have to use the eraser before they had the
red ribbon?
Oh my gosh. Do you know how hard it was when you had to do the eraser and then line it up exactly? The young children know not what we speak of. Those were like cavemen days. And now they have all the computers where you can just delete whatever you want to delete and just start over.
Well, Judge, I even have used a typewriter. Just want to say that. My dad still uses a typewriter for his taxes, so.
Typewriters are a beautiful thing. They're beautiful. But in elementary school, did you use the printer where you had to turn it? And that's how you printed out documents in the ink, with the blue ink.
Oh no. I mean, we had the ones where you had to crimp off the sides, you know?
Yes.
Those.
And the happiest day in school, Brenna, was film strip day, because you knew you were going to be watching a film.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, it's film strip day. All right, Mr. Flores.
Judge, we signed the paperwork. Do I need to go in and get him and bring him over here, or
No, he needs to go into, has he been sworn in by the clerk?
he has not?
All right, is it just on a motion to revoke, or is it a new number one that he's pleading to?
No, we're just pleading on the motion to revoke, Judge. They're gonna dismiss or TIC the new case.
All right, so then we can start on that then. All right, who is the prosecutor?
Brittany, Judge.
Brittany.
All right, thank you. Mr. Lawrence, I told you your attorney would be here.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right. So we're just proceeding on 2021 CR 8205W, correct?
Yes, Judge.
All right, to the clerks, do you have the trial certification paper? Let me make sure they have that. Is this for time or continued?
It's for time, Judge.
All right, let me make sure they have that paperwork. They do. All right, the court is calling 2021 CR 8205W, State of Texas versus Brandon Lawrence. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Brittany Sparks.
For the defense?
Ruben Flores for Mr. Lawrence.
And are you Mr. Lawrence?
Yes, Your Honor, I am.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
No objection.
Any objection from the defense?
No objection, Judge.
Mr. Lawrence, I'm showing you what's entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm going to show you what's entitled Motion to Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you the same Brandon Joseph Lawrence who was placed on community supervision in 2021 CR 8205W for the offense of possession of a weapon prohibited places, school, on September 10th, 2021 for a term of 3 years? Is that you?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
Yes, Judge. Violated condition number 1. On or about the 21st day of October 2021 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant Brandon Joseph Lawrence committed the offense of possession of controlled substance in violation of condition number 1.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 1, the court could find it true, grant the motion, sentence you up to 3 years in the prison and up to a $1,500 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find violation of condition number 1 true. Is there an agreement?
Yes, Judge. We have an agreed recommendation. We're asking that you grant the motion, revoke his probation, and sentence him to 3 years in TDC. And in consideration for his plea of true, we're going to TIC cause number 2022 CR 0206.
All right, is that the agreement?
It is, Judge.
Mr. Lawrence, are you asking the court to follow that agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you waiving your right to appeal?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then the court will follow your agreement, grant the motion, sentence you to 3 years in the prison, take in consideration 2022 CR 0206, and give you credit for any time served. I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Also, because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you want to know the definition of a weapon or ammunition, you need to contact an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record. Mr. Lawrence, you didn't do very well on probation.
No, ma'am.
Don't be the person who's constantly in and out of prison. Don't be Grandpa Lawrence at the prison, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you. Do better, all right?
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Have a great rest of your day.
You too.
Forrest, you're excused. Number 17, I can go back.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Who is the prosecutor on Villarreal?
It's me, Judge.
All right. Court is calling 2021 CR 1028, State of Texas versus Christopher Villarreal. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Brittany Sparks.
For the defense?
James Tochi, Judge, for Mr. Villarreal.
And are you Mr. Villarreal?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Villarreal, stop flirting with people.
How you doing today, Your Honor?
I'm doing great. You know, celebrate Valentine's Day with somebody who's not on the Zoom screen, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Everybody here is married. Let's not start any problems.
No, I already caused enough problems. I learned my lesson.
Okay, I'm going to show you what's entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video Conference. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Counsel, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case, or did you review it with your client?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am, I
ma'am.
did.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Villarreal, I'm going to show you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Judge.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Villarreal, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with assault, peace officer, or judge, bodily injury? That's a second-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, Judge.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I do.
Mr. Villarreal, has anyone threatened you, forced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page, did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 2 years in the prison. There's a $1,000 fine. There are no applications. The state will take in consideration 2021 CR 10286, and County Court Cause number 677100. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
It is.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, it is.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, ma'am.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. The state is requesting a no contact order with Eustacio, EUSTACIO, Tiarina, TIJERINA, as a condition of parole. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
If the offense is charged in the indictment, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No content.
State, any evidence to support the defendant's no contest plea?
Yes, Judge. The state offers States Exhibit 1 and all attachments.
Any objections?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Villarreal, I'm showing you what's entitled Waiving Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. The court will accept into evidence States Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same.
Oh, Your Honor,
Oh, just one moment.
yes, ma'am.
All right, after reviewing States Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are we proceeding with sentencing?
Judge, we are prepared, yes.
All right, anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
No, ma'am, just that you honor the plea agreement.
All right, it appeared that your client wanted to say something to the court. Does he want to say something to the court or no?
I don't know.
Yes, ma'am.
I guess the question is, Mr. Toshi, do you want Mr. Villarreal to say something to the court?
Honestly, no. I'm not sure what he's going to say at this point.
Okay.
Other than expressing his gratitude, I hope. But is that it, Christopher?
I mean, yeah and no. You know, I was, you know what? Yeah, that'll be it. That'll be it. That'll be it.
All right. All right, the court is going to follow your agreement, sentence you to 2 years in prison, $1,000 fine, time and money to run concurrent, taking consideration 2021 CR. See, you're still trying to flirt with people. Mr. Villarreal.
What?
Nobody, Mr. Villarreal.
Yes,
People
ma'am.
are not trying to date you on this Zoom.
I don't want that.
Okay,
I'm believing it.
All right, just a second. Court is taking in consideration 2021 CR 10286. County Court Cause number 677100. There's been no contact with Eustacio D. Tiarino as a condition of parole. I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you want to know what a weapon is or ammunition, you'll need to contact an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we're off the record. Good luck to you, Mr. Villarreal.
Thank you, ma'am, and enjoy your Valentine's.
All right, thank you. I'm going to do my best, but don't be Grandpa Villarreal at the prison.
I'm only 29, ma'am.
Yeah, but time sneaks up on you.
Don't it?
Yeah, Father Time, you can't trust him.
He'll
All
be
right.
Uncle Villarreal.
That sounds better. That sounds better.
All right. I know some uncles who are in their 90s. Yeah. Okay. Norma, Mr. Villarreal can go back. He's 17H.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Toshi.
Judge, you've given me a great idea. How did we miss this one? Like Zoom date, Zoom flirt.
Okay. But is your wife going to be happy with the Zoom date? I think not.
Well, she'd be happy if I founded it and made $700 million. Yes. I'm not saying to get on it, but I mean, this is.
Well, I would tell you, I've had attorneys, just so people will know, purposely setting cases in this court on Valentine's Day because they are not prepared. I'll take the heat for it.
I didn't even thought of that. That's a good one.
All right, I'm going to stop live stream. Everyone